Hey guys, it's Gigi. Come on into my kitchen. Let me tell you what we're going to cook. We are going to do some glazed carrots. Okay, this is just going to be a side dish that I'm making for another meal, which you'll see parts of that video later. But what I've done is I have taken some mini rainbow carrots. They're already peeled and cut up, and I've already washed them. Okay. So they're going to go into our baking dish. And then we're going to season these. But first what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of chicken broth to our pan, okay? And then I'm going to use my Kinder's blend. It's just salt, pepper, and garlic, okay? I'm just going to give those... Spread those out a little bit better. I want everybody to get some garlic, pepper, and salt. And then I'm going to hit it also with just a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit of smoked paprika. Okay, and then we're going to sprinkle these with some brown sugar. Make sure I get everybody some there. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to cover this and we're going to pop this in the oven at 350 degrees. I'll let you know exactly how long I let it cook, but basically until your carrots become fork tender, okay? So these are going in the oven. And I'm going to be cooking this small pan to keep from having to heat up my large oven. I'm going to cook these in my toaster oven because it has a cook and a bake and all the different temperatures on it. So I'm going to be cooking these since this is a small casserole dish and it'll fit in there with no problem. I'm going to pop these into my toaster oven. Okay guys, another side that I'm going to be serving with our supper tonight is some asparagus, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to drizzle our asparagus with some avocado oil. And then I'm also going to hit it with some Himalayan salt. These are also going to go into the second level of shelf of my toaster oven. And then they won't take as long as the carrots do. So when the carrots are almost ready, I will pop these into the oven as well, and I'll let those cook. And then when they're all almost done, probably about midway, I'm also going to put some garlic on them, and then I'm going to top them with some Parmesan cheese. So we'll be back. Okay guys, what we're going to do now to our rainbow carrots is we've let them cook until they're tender, and I'm just putting some butter around in my pan. And the last little thing I'm going to do to these, and now they'll remain uncovered, okay? I'm just putting them in there. And the last little thing I'm going to do is I am going to drizzle some honey. Okay, I'm just going to drizzle a little honey over these carrots. And we are going to pop these right back into the oven with that butter and that honey on them, okay? All right, then I'll be back and we'll move on to the next part of our supper. And I do get my honey local here at my veggie patch. It's made right here in Noonan, Georgia. Okay guys, while our asparagus is cooking and our carrots are finishing up, we are going to go ahead and start the last part of our supper. And I am going to pan sear. I'm letting my cast iron heat up. But guys, I'm just patting dry. And we are going to pan sear in our cast iron a piece of salmon for my husband. Okay? This is some of the salmon that I bought at Sprouts. So I'm going to add a little avocado oil down to my pan and just going to let that heat up. And we're going to do some seasoning. I'm going to do some Creole seasoning on the top of my salmon. And then I'm also going to put some of my seafood magic on top of my salmon. We're just going to give this salmon some really good flavor. And then I am also going to do some lemon butter garlic on the top of our salmon. And then when this heats up, I'll move it over to the cast iron. Just gonna let that pan get hot because we want it to be hot once we put our salmon in there. Okay, let's go ahead and get our salmon into our well greased cast iron. Gonna just let that cook up for a couple of minutes on that side. Then we'll give it a flip. Okay, let's give it a flip. I've got a little pat of butter on the top. We're going to let it sear on that side. Now guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of that garlic, avocado oil. Oh, by the way, I did put a little bit of garlic in with my butter. So we're going to take this little garlic infused butter and we're going to just baste it up on the top of this for flavor. And you know, I know a lot of people are, you know, intimidated by cooking salmon, but it's really simple. I mean, I was at first too, because I'm like, I don't really know anything about cooking salmon when I first started cooking it. But we love it so much. I order it a lot when we go out. My husband loves it, you know, once or twice a month. And I said, I've got to perfect this. When my mother comes for a visit, she loves salmon too. So I just kind of do it my own little way. I mean, I know a lot of people probably do it different, but I'm going to squeeze a little lemon juice on top. I have turned my heat down on the up underneath. And so basically I just baste that avocado oil infused with that garlic and that butter over to the top because I've got all my seasonings. You know, I put some seafood seasoning on there, some Tony's Creole. You can season it with whatever flavors you like, but just giving that salmon some really good flavor and getting a nice sear on it, but keeping the inside tender and moist. And it just really takes, you know, just a few minutes on each side. And then that depends on how you know, like yours. Just like a steak, it depends on how you like yours cooked. You know, medium, well done. So, I mean, really and truthfully, guys, this is, I'm just going to keep this. I'm going to turn the heat completely off. Push it off the heat. Well, I'm going to bring it up there so that you can see it up close. I'll show it to you up close. You can hear it sizzling. But I'm just going to turn the heat off, push it to the back, because I've got to get some Parmesan cheese put on my asparagus when it goes off. It's got a couple of more minutes. And I'll put some Parmesan cheese on that. But guys, we're going to be wrapping up supper. But I'll come back and I'll plate up everything with you, okay? And this is how our asparagus is looking so far. I've got it seasoned with salt, garlic, and avocado oil. And then I'm going to be topping it with some Parmesan cheese. Okay, guys. I'm ready to plate up supper. So, you know that you were with me when I did the asparagus, the rainbow carrots, the salmon, and my husband put in a request for a sweet baked potato. So, let's plate it up. I can see we've got a lot of orange color going on this plate. And that's not a bad thing. And then we're going to top the asparagus with some Parmesan cheese. And guys, that is a beautiful plate. We've got our pan-seared salmon, our asparagus topped with Parmesan cheese, our sweet baked potato, and our rainbow carrots. So that's my husband's plate, but I do want to taste with you the glazed carrots. Those are delicious. Those are really good. Well, thank y'all for hanging out with me for one more video and spending a little time with me. If I can encourage you to be the hands and feet of Jesus, be his mouthpiece, and share his love and kindness with somebody today, okay? I'll take my husband his plate, get him fed. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.